If you've ever grown sweet peas, you probably know that they can very quickly become a tangled mess. Hi, I'm Lyle. I own a microflower farm in Western Massachusetts, Zone 6A, and I've been growing flowers for about 10 years now, but 2 years as a actual flower farm business, and we keep expanding. So this is our sweet pea trellis area, and I'm going to turn this around so you can see. This is our sweet pea trellis. We've been adding on to it the past 2 years with more beds. And last year, I think we only had 3 of these filled with sweet peas. And this year we have 6 beds filled with sweet peas. It smells incredible. But as you can see, while some of them are going up my trellis, some of them are just falling over. Or worse yet, they're going into, that one's way falling over. They are encroaching on the other side and kind of starting to strangle out some of my other plants over here, like my celosia. Tonight, like I said, I'm going to harvest what I can, deadhead. Sweet peas need to be deadheaded frequently so they don't go to seed too soon. So I'm going to work on that and getting these tied up, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that tonight. So as I'm cutting, I don't like to let things go to waste. So if I have to cut a vine like this, I'm actually going to save some of it and use it in my bouquets as like a little bit of green filler, because I think it's just really kind of fun and whimsy. So the one I'm on now, I know it's hard to see, but there's about 4 stems, and this one's pretty tall actually and has some really pretty flowers on it. And I don't need 4 stems, so I'm going to cut this whole thing off. Just try to clean this up. Let's see if I can get this out of here without breaking it. This will be a really pretty stem to use in bouquets. Messing up the nice clean walkway here. My husband just mowed and weed whacked. The issue when they get all droopy like this is, I don't know if you can see this one, but the stems get kind of bent and it makes it much harder to work with later on. So, and I definitely want straight stems for bouquets, because I tend to get really short if I'm just using the sweet pea stems. Mine tend to be really short stems, so I don't ever never really able to use just this part. I tend to cut part of the green as well. Okay, so that's looking much better. I think I can start to tie up from the base and get them going up the trellis. Okay, so I just want to show you that this is a little bit more cleaned up at the base here now, compared to, ooh, it is getting windy out compared to the next bed, or even this bed over here that is just kind of spilling out from the side. So I'm going to tie one row up and then get inside, because I think it's going to start to downpour any second. Ooh, it is getting windy. Okay, so I'm going to take my twine in my bucket. I'm going to start low because I haven't started with these guys at all yet. I'm going to tie my twine on. Walk to the other end. And I'm going to tie it down here as well. And I'm going to try to get it snug. And I know some of these need to be adjusted, and that is okay. The goal is to keep these tied up straight as possible. Right now I'm just doing a little slip knot just so I can make sure that these are where they need to be. And then I think I'm going to do the next row and then kind of tighten this row up, just in case I need to adjust. Actually going to start over here. I'm just going to do a little slip knot here just to make sure I can get these all tucked in and that I can harvest them a little bit easier if they're all on the same side of the line. It's a really pretty one. I think this is King's Ransom, and the seed was not easy to get, but it is beautiful. Just don't want anybody going through the cattle panels anymore. I'm trying to keep them between the cattle panel and this twine is my hope. But this looks much cleaner, not encroaching anymore on my Ami on the other side or strangling it out, because it was definitely trying to do that. These are still little trendles. Let's see if I can get this guy back on this side without breaking him. And of course, this would probably be easier if you did this from the start, but you know, one woman show here. Do what we can. Okay, I'm feeling much better about this. So now I'm just gonna have to repeat this with each bed, but I'm gonna go in for the evening before this rain starts to come down, and come back out tomorrow morning and finish this up. Well, the rain held off for a few more minutes, so I just went through and deadheaded real quick, cut a few things for tomorrow morning. Made a complete mess out here, but I'll get it all cleaned up in the morning. It's starting to lose daylight here. But man, that one spot over there looks so much better, so much more cleaned up. So while I was out here just the deadheading, because the rain did stop real quick, I decided to make this bottom support a little bit tighter. And all I did was I came into the middle here and I tied off another piece of string. I'll show you right there in the middle of the trellis cattle panel, just to make it a little bit more snug on either side, so you can see the base is pretty well up and in its spot. That guy's a little bit too short for the next one, but I think rather than adding a middle string that I'm gonna have to cut through later, try to get through later, I'm just gonna make sure I keep tucking these guys into the next row, and I think they're gonna be good. I think this is gonna make it a lot easier to harvest. I'm hoping this will help me get some longer stems with my flowers. And I'm also going to fertilize them, because I'm realizing I'm terrible at that. And my understanding is that these are very heavy feeders. Okay, I'm going inside for real this time. So it's about 7:15 at night. Definitely did not make it back out here this morning as I had planned. Instead, I spent the morning making some bouquets for Pearl, our flower shed, along with starting on making bouquets for the farmers market tomorrow. So that's good. I'm kind of ahead of schedule for that. And then I cleaned up the garage in preparation of trying to cut down some polycarbonate panels, because we had 2 blow out of our greenhouse roof in a really bad windstorm we had the other day. And unfortunately, that project didn't get finished because it was the wrong size polycarbonate. So planted some other stuff, and now I'm out here to work on the sweet peas. Thus is the day of a flower farmer. So I'm gonna work on these sweet peas. I'm gonna just set this up on a time lapse so you guys can just kind of quickly see how long, we'll see how long this takes me to get this done. Hopefully I can get it done before sunset, get these all cleaned up and tied up, and I'll show you once we're done. So this is taking a little bit longer than expected, but I only have 2 more beds left and it's looking much better. And I think my plants are going to be much happier and healthier. And if you've ever grown, I guess cucumbers maybe do this, I think. What happens with these sweet peas is they start to branch and send up multiple shoots, and it makes just a mess, and it's sending energy to things I don't want energy sent to. I'd want 1 to 3 main leader stems going up to produce flowers. So I just, like I said, didn't stay on top of this, got away from me. So I'm cleaning it up now. So hopefully for the next month or so, I'll have much better production. Now let me show you what's going on at the root base of the plant here. Okay, I hope you guys can see this okay. So this is one plant right here. This is what I would call like the main leader stem. And then it has, off the main root, it's got this little guy starting to come off. It has this guy that's coming kind of off forward here. It has this one that's running to the back. And it actually has one more right here kind of coming off and going up, which is actually one I staked early on, or tied on right here early on, going to the back. So that's 1, 2 kind of main ones here, this offshoot here, this one. So I think for this plant, what I'm going to do is I'm going to definitely take this off. I think I'm going to lose this one here, and I think this one coming to the front. So that way I just have 2 main stems running up on this plant to just kind of make it not such a chaotic mess in here and just kind of clean things up. So that one looks much better. And then this one over here, just to kind of give you guys an idea, let's see, so this is what I'm talking about, like the runners that come off. I think cucumbers, like I said, I think do this as well. They just send kind of tendrils out everywhere. So there's that one. There's this one running up here. And then we've got this guy. These little leaves up. This is kind of a main one right here. I'd call this a main one. I'd call this the main one. And then this one probably too, although it's really tiny. So I think I'm going to get rid of this one, and actually I see one back here. I don't know if you guys can see this back here running away as well. So I'm going to take those off, get it cleaned up. So that's what is kind of taking a little bit longer. I'm just trying to determine which one I want to be my main stems running up, just because it makes it look, you can see over here, so much cleaner, and hopefully much easier to harvest. So we had the farmer's market today, but got home, decided to go work out in our rose garden while the sun was still shining very heavily on the sweet peas. It's much cooler back in the rose garden, and got the last section done out here. It looks so good. So I'm going to turn this around so you can see how it looks now, and then also just kind of show you guys a close-up of what I kind of did at the base, just so I don't have hopefully such a crazy mess. And definitely need to do this method of kind of corralling them up much sooner next year. I tried to individually tie them up, and it's just, when I have this many, it's just too much. So this is what it looks like now. It's definitely much more tidy. You can see that everything's tied up. Some of them I have 2 layers of twine, and some of them I have 3. But I think it's gonna be much more easier to harvest now. And then down at the base, I can show you. So for a lot of these, I tried to have just 2 to 3 main stems kind of coming up, and that might be even too much, but this one has a little getaway here, but that one has like 3 main stems. This one has 3 here. This one over here, right here, we have this one. It's kind of a shorty little guy. And then this piece that's kind of flopping over. So I'll just have to keep an eye on it. And once it gets tall enough, I'll be able to tuck it into the string up above. So I will have to keep an eye on a few of those until they get a little bit more height, and make sure that they're behaving. But other than some weeding, so much better. And this side over here looks really good too. Really pleased. Now these are going more straight up, which is nice. And then the other thing that I've discovered while I was cleaning this all up, show you over here, some of them started to produce some seed pods already, which I definitely don't want. I feel like it's still a little bit too early, and I want them to keep growing. So seed pods tells the plant to kind of stop flowering, produce seeds. So I'm glad I caught those. I just need to stay more vigilant on getting these deadheaded. Doesn't take too long to go through and do all that. So I'm super happy with how this turned out. It was a lot more work than I anticipated, but I think it's going to be worth it so I can get a little bit better harvest moving forward. Hopefully I can get like maybe another few weeks out of these sweet peas. They still need a good fertilizing. I have some that are really yellow. It could be lack of water, but my hunch is it's lack of nutrients. This is a raised bed. While I do amend it some, it's just not the greatest right now. So I'll get them fertilized. I'll have to post you guys an update so you can see how they're doing, hopefully in a couple weeks. If you're growing any sweet peas, I'd love to hear any tips or tricks you have for corralling them up and getting nice long stems for cutting, other than just cutting down the entire vine for a stem. And I hope to see you guys next time.